John Chamberlain was a sculptor, mostly, in the abstract expressionist vein, and was a master of taking found objects, usually crushing them, and then placing them on display as sculpture. This work certainly had a major effect on artists ranging from Robert Rauschenberg to David Smith, all the way through to today. I would argue a lot of Cory Arcangel's work, maybe not directly, but certainly is playing with a lot of the themes and ideas that Chamberlain presented in his works during the 1950s, 60s, into the 90s and 2000s. But the work after Dogberry from 1993, it's a seriograph, which is a print with collage elements, is probably my favorite work of Chamberlain's, which is pretty remarkable because I really, really enjoy Chamberlain's works, particularly his sculptures. And what it is a series of what appear to be brushstrokes. Vivid colors, blues, yellows, reds, actually magentas that are sort of used as a pop against the grays and the greens. And then there are collaged elements, which I believe are mostly paper, some of it with holes in it, that are just pasted on top and then in some cases painted over. This is an abstract expressionist work in the color field tradition, more or less, but again, using the markers of the action painting. The very quick brushstroke is what they all appear to be, except for they're not actually quick, they're applied. The idea of action painting is that the record of the painting, of the action of actually painting, is the artwork. But that's almost impossible to do as collage. Here, it is the layering of the images upon one another. And in this case, the images are the brushstroke, which are then turned into this beautiful print with collage elements. What's beautifully executed in this is this idea that into the 90s, an abexer who was key and seminal in the early portion, particularly in the 50s and 60s, is still producing work that is evoking the same ideas, but is also not repeating themselves. This feels fresh. This feels like something you could walk into a gallery today and see from an artist who's in their 20s. This is not a older, because he would have been 66 at this point, but is still using the imaging, the concepts of the abstract expressionist, but is reinventing them. And not just going to painting, but going to the idea that his previous work was different in his eyes as the creator than our eyes as the viewer. Because these two things fall directly in line, which makes you think, if the idea of Chamberlain's smushed up found objects, if that is collage, then why do we view it as sculpture? And I think it's speaking to the limited aspect of our vision of what an artwork is based on its media. And this demonstrates that beautifully.